be the last one standing. Two hands in the air, I'm a champion. You'll be looking up at me when it's over. I live for the battle, I'm a soldier. Yeah, I'm a fighter like Rocky. Put your flag on your back like Ali. Yeah, I'm the greatest, I'm stronger. Bet my dues, can't lose, I'ma own ya. Hey, I've been working my whole life, and now it's do or die. I am invincible, unbreakable, unstoppable, unshakable. They knock me down, I get up again. I am the champion. You're gonna know my name. You can't hurt me now. I can't feel the pain. I was made for this. Yeah, I was born to win. I am the champion. When they write my story, they're gonna say that I did it for the glory. But don't think that I did it for the fame, yeah. I did it for the love of the game, yeah. And this is my chance I'm taking. All them old records I'm breaking. All you people watching on the TV, you go ahead and put your bets on me. Hey, I've been waiting my whole life to see my name in lights. I am invincible, unbreakable, unstoppable, unshakable. They knock me down, I get up again. I am the champion. You're gonna know my name. You can't hurt me now. I can't feel the pain. I was made for this. Yeah, I was born to win. I am the champion.
Born champion. The C is for the courage I possess through the drama. H is for the hurt, but it's all for the honor. A is for my attitude, working through the patience. Money comes and goes, so the M is for motivation. Gotta stay consistent, the P is to persevere. The I is for integrity, innovative career. The O is optimistic, open and never shut. And the N is necessary, cause I'm never giving up. See, they ask me how I did it, I just did it from the heart. Crushing the competition, been doing it from the start. They say that every champion is all about his principles. Carry.
I am invincible, unbreakable, unstoppable, unshakable. They knock me down, I get up again. I am the champion. You're gonna know my name. You can't hurt me now. I can't feel the pain. I was made for this. Yeah, I was born to win. I am the champion.
Yeah. Surpassed all rivals. It's all about who wants it the most. Fight for what we believe in. That's what champions are made of. Yeah. Champion.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey, from the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV for Championship Night with the Pro Dirt Racing League. Tonight we come to the dirt track at Charlotte for round number 6 of 6. We come into tonight with the number of drivers being being sent to the tail end of the field. End of line week for the drivers that have picked up victories. Those drivers: Scout Neff, Dalton Butcher, and Colton Zimmer. We'll see those 3 drivers. In fact, yes, Scout Neff is here, Dalton Butcher is here, and Colton Zimmer. Coming into tonight, it is a 25-point lead for Colton Zimmer, who's picked up 3 wins on the season. Dalton Butcher picked up the win last week, and Scout Neff picked up the win in the opening week. So Joey Rita sits third in the points. There's still a lot on the line for second to make that third, fourth, and fifth. And you can even throw in 6 as well. So 4 drivers still battling it out for that final spot on the podium as we get ready. We are all ready with the qualifying session underway. We are almost halfway through. 16 drivers have taken a lap time. Scout Neff with a 14.950. Brandon Stars with a 14.960. Dalton Butcher 14.974. Colton Zimmer 14.978. Those 4 drivers at the moment are the only drivers inside the sub 14 or sub 15 second bracket. As Joseph Grandy on screen, he will be the last car to lay down a lap time. Brian Warner Jr. also on the racetrack. Joseph, I'm not sure if you know this, but just letting you know that the wall does not move. No matter how many times you try and move it, Joseph, it will not move. Okay? And same for those infield tractor tyres as well. They're going to get you, or they're like the Fabai, they will get you good. So Grandy's going to try once again, which means we're going to have to wait right up until the end of the qualifying session. He should get his white flag lap in right now. So it looks like Scout Neff is going to be the man to beat, and he will be on pole. Well, Joseph, again, I feel like I'm repeating myself here. The wall doesn't move. I don't know how many times we have to. We don't know how many Platts. Surely, some sort of presentation on what people can look at as to what moves and what doesn't. So does it sound like I'm sitting next to you in the car, Platts? Surely. I think there might be some sort of maybe like a presentation booklet or something rather that'll tell you what moves and what doesn't. Qualifying coming up to less than 20 seconds left. I know. Joseph again still does not move. 15.471, 15.471 for Joseph Grandy. So that'll put him at the tail end of the field. So we'll get the qualifying results up on screen and we'll move into the first of what will be 2 heat races here on Championship Night. Oh, there we go. Scout Neff, Brandon Starnes, Dalton Butcher, Colton Zimmer, Scott Fritz, your top 5, Kevin Brown, Matthew Ford, Robbie Milburn, Jacob Stuyvesant, Travis Gardner, your top 10, Jaden Lapp, Brett Hines, Brian Warner Jr., Samuel Backman, Luke Hines, Joey Reeder, and Joseph Grandy. 17 drivers. As heat race number 1 will line up like this. Scheduled to line up on the pole is Scout Neff. On the outside of the front row, it's Dalton Butcher from position number 2. Scott Fritz to roll off at a position number 3. Matthew Ford from position number 4. Jacob Stuyvesant lines up at a position number 5. Jaden Lapp lines up at a position number 6. Brian Warner Jr. from position number 7. Luke Hines from position number 8. And Joseph Grandy from position number 9. Yeah, I can't seem to put my finger on it, on where I've read. It's like it's a presentation booklet or something, or oh man, it's just, yeah. I get the feeling I feel like I've read it somewhere, or I've heard about it somewhere. Like, surely someone else knows, right? Like, they know where they can and can't park, right? Surely. Anyhow. Oh boy. Am I so tired? 5:30 I got to bed this morning. And I was up at 9. Heat number 1, Pro Dirt Racing League Championship night. And what has been a phenomenal 6 weeks of competition. We've certainly enjoyed the racing from the opening night, from Lernerville Speedway to Federated Auto Parts I-55, Cedar Lake Speedway, Eldora Speedway, Lucas Oil last week, and tonight we of course wrap it up here at the dirt track at Charlotte as we go green flag. Come back to the second place. We go green flag action here in heat race number 1. 8 laps is the distance. Everybody going to the show. Heat 1 will line up the inside row of the 50-lap main event tonight. Matthew Ford works his way up to position number 3. Meanwhile, Scott Fritz is trying to come after your race leader, Scout Neff. Fritz in the 48, Neff in the 10 machine as they work through 3 and 4. Fritz is going to leave the door open up on the inside of the racetrack for Matthew Ford to have a good old Captain Cook through 3 and 4 as we work through 1 and 2. Your race leader is still Scout Neff, Fritz, Ford, your top 3, Dalton Butcher, Jacob Stuyvesant, that's your top 5. Remember, Scout Neff, Dalton Butcher and Colton Zimmer will all go to the tail end of the field in tonight's 50-lap main event, so it doesn't really matter for Scout Neff and Dalton Butcher in this one. Right now, as it stands, it'll put Scott Fritz on the pole position. Matthew Ford will start inside the second row. Neff continues to lead the way. Heat race number 1, 4 down, 4 to run. Fritz making a power move to the inside in 1 and 2 there on Scout Neff, but Scout Neff had the advantage. They work their way off turn 2, now working through 3 and 4. 5 into the books here on Championship night with the Pro Dirt Racing League Pro Late Models. Matthew Ford now dives down to the inside. This is your battle for second and third. Will eventually be the battle for the pole position. Remember, Scout Neff and Dalton Butcher, both drivers have picked up heat race wins already this season in the first 5 weeks. It was week 1 and week 5, but when those drivers picked up victories, the other 3 weeks was won by Colton Zimmer. White flag is out, 1 lap left to go. The Scout Neff from Scott Fritz and Matthew Ford, that's your top 3. Butcher and Stuyvesant, your top 5. Hines, Lap, Grandy and Warner Jr. as they work down into 3 and 4. Final time, checkered flag is out. Ford trying to make a big bonsai move there on Fritz, but Scout Neff will come away victorious from Scott Fritz home in second. Matthew Ford third. Dalton Butcher fourth. Jacob Stuyvesant rounds out your top 5. Luke Hines will come home in position number 6. 7th will go to Jaden Lapp, Joseph Grandy, and 8th Brian Warner Jr. in position number 9. Heat number 2 will line up like this, and on the pole position, that'll be Brandon Starnes to the outside of the front row. 3 wins so far in 5 weeks of racing. Colton Zimmer and your points leader will start from position number 2. Kevin Brown at a position number 3. Robbie Milburn at a position number 4. Travis Gardner from position number 5. Brett Hines from position number 6. Samuel Backman from position number 7. Joey Reeder from position number 8. It should have been spoken about at Drivers Briefing. I agree with you. No, Animal Crossing has not got me good. I played that for about 4, maybe 5 hours last night with Nick. My whole computer did not get turned on at all yesterday. So I sat on the phone with Nick and played Animal Crossing, and then at 11 o'clock the Counter-Strike Major was on, quarterfinals, so I watched the first match of that. Then it was, I think, about 2:30, quarter to 3, and then I thought, oh yeah, I'll just go to sleep. Didn't happen. 3:30 comes around, I'm still watching the second match, and I got an hour's sleep before I woke up again. Anyhow, we'll talk about that later on. Lap number 1 is in the books. Brandon Starnes is your race leader, watching Robbie Milburn in the number 9 machine. Coming into tonight, Milburn is 7th in the point standings. Brandon Starnes, he is 6th in the points there. Remember, he will not have to start from the tail end of the field, unlike Colton Zimmer, Dalton Butcher, and Scout Neff. Now, Scout Neff is 5th in the points, so there's a lot on the line. Still get heat race points. I believe that they'll get 1 point for a heat race victory. It is 1 point to the winner of both heat races. So He could reach, or he could try and pick up another point, but there goes Kevin Brown. As now here comes Travis Gardner in the 37 machine down to the inside into turn number 3 and 4. Colton Zimmer. All he has to do is just survive. If he gets himself a top 10, he will walk away with the championship for the Pro Dirt Racing League Pro Late Models. Thanks to Butt Kicker as well. We work down into 3 and 4. 5 down and 3 to run. Starnes has got nearly a 1 second advantage over Brown in the 26th. Then you go back to Travis Gardner in 3rd position. Robbie Milburn in position number 4 in that number 9 machine. Then you go back to the right of your screen, the 09 of Colton Zimmer rounds out your top 5. Brett Hines, Samuel Backman, poor old Joey Reeder, he's back on pit road. He is 3rd coming into tonight's championship. It's Gardner and Milburn as they work down the back straight away. Coming to the white flag, Brandon Starnes in car number 1, looking to put the 1 machine outside front row for tonight's 50 lap main event as they work through 1 and 2 already. Milburn there with a slide job on Gardner. Gardner back to the inside as they work down the back straight away, down into 3 and 4. Final time, checkered flag is out. Brandon Starnes will pick up the win in heat race number 2. Brownholm in 2nd, Gardner, Milburn and Zimmer will make up your top 5. Then you go to Brett Hines, Samuel Backman and Joey Reeder. And the good thing about this, we go right into tonight's main event. No time wasting here, no warm-up. Straight into the main event. Let's take a look at heat number 2 results. Starnes, Brown, Gardner, Milburn, Zimmer, Hines, Backman and Reeder. And now it is time to take a look at your Ultimate Dirt TV starting grid for one final time for the Pro Dirt Racing League Pro Late Models for 50 laps. Around the dirt track at Charlotte, Brian Warner Jr. from position number 17. Position number 16, Joey Reeder. Position number 15, Joseph Grady. Position number 14, Samuel Backman. Position number 13, Jaden Lapp. Position number 12, Brett Hines. Position number 11, it's Luke Hines. Position number 10, Colton Zimmer, Jacob Stuyvesant. Position number 9, Robbie Milburn. Position number 8, Dalton Butcher. Position number 7, Travis Gardner. Position number 6, Matthew Ford for position number 5. Kevin Brown, position number 4. Scott Fritz, position number 3. Brandon Starnes, position number 2. And Scout Neff from position number 1. So scrap that starting lineup. Scout Neff will go to the back. Dalton Butcher will go to the back. Colton Zimmer will go to the back. Simple as that. So now Scott Fritz will move to the front row. 50 laps around the dirt track at Charlotte. Scott Fritz we've only seen a couple of times this season. See what he can do here tonight at the dirt track at Charlotte. Lernerville week number 1. Scout Neff picked up the win before Federated Auto Parts, I-55 Raceway, Cedar Lake Speedway, Eldora Speedway, all belong to Colton Zimmer. In rounds 2, 3 and 4, he went on a 3-week streak. And then last week at the Lucas Oil Speedway, Dalton Butcher broke through for his maiden victory in the season. It all comes down to final race. 25 points separating Colton Zimmer and Dalton Butcher. Both drivers coming from the back. Week number 6, championship night. 50 laps on the board. Here at the dirt track at Charlotte, we crown a champion. The Pro Dirt Racing League main event is green and underway here in championship evening. And of course, it's no surprise to see Scott Fritz go to the top side into turn number 1 and 2, but Matthew Ford works down low. Brandon Starnes in the 1B machine will now find himself back to position number 3. Keep an eye on Jacob Stuyvesant. Has already moved up a couple of positions already here in the opening lap. Stuyvesant looks down to the inside on Brandon Starnes through 1 and 2. Brown on the 26 around the outside. Just outside the podium position is that 26 machine of Scott Fritz. We tick off 2 laps into the books here. Joseph Grady out of the event, so 16 drivers taken to the racetrack here in championship night. Scout Neff coming through the middle. 3 wide, contact with the 17 entry of Luke Hines. Do we stay green? He was up the racetrack. Now he's got it back going again. Meanwhile, Travis Gardner, he's trying to get around the outside in that 37 machine to the outside of Jacob Stuyvesant down into turn number 3 and 4. Working on our 5th lap of 50. top 3 make that top 4. All go to the cushion. Travis Gardner, the first car to go to the middle of the racetrack. Inside the top 10, he in fact runs in 5th position. Jacob Stuyvesant scout there, back there, 1.2 seconds behind Jacob Stuyvesant. Then you look at Robbie Milburn holding off Dalton Butcher, Colton Zimmer as well, as they work side by side. It's the 007 machine of Samuel Backman. He's up in position number 10. Zimmer now trying to take that 10th spot away from him. Meanwhile, Joey Reeder coming through there, and Brian Warner Jr. was just to your right of screen. Meanwhile, Stuyvesant trying to come back after Travis Gardner. There was a challenge on for 2nd and 3rd. Brandon starts to the inside, battle up for 2nd and 3rd position. Fritz, your race leader from Ford in the 07 machine, stands in the 1B entries. They work down the back straight away. Lap number 8 is into the books here on Championship night. And it is all Scott Fritz for the most part of this main event so far. Still plenty of laps for the likes of Scott Neff, Colton Zimmer, Dalton Butcher to come through. Matthew Ford, we know he's been good in the long runs of these main events, which have been 40 and 50 laps. We watch still 2nd and 3rd on screen at the moment. Let's go back and take a look. Samuel Backman, Colton Zimmer 3 wide with Robbie Milburn as they work down into turn number 3 and 4. They were 3 wide on the entry to turn 3. Nearly 3 wide out of turn number 4. Backman gets into the wall. That will allow the 25 of Jaden Lapp to move up one more position. He'll go to position number 11. Meanwhile, Milburn lets Zimmer get clear. So it's the battle of the 9s, battling for positions number 9 and 10. Meanwhile, Dalton Butcher now about to have his hands full with that 09 machine of Colton Zimmer. Remember, these two guys run 1st and 2nd in the championship standings, and it is Colton Zimmer with a 25-point advantage coming into tonight. They all get the same amount of points for qualifying. It's a 1-point increment, or 1 point for a heat win. None of these guys picked up a heat win, so knowing that he didn't have to do anything in the heat races, it's all about staying with him, and he will, as long as he can stay with him right there when it comes to the end of the 50th lap. Colton Zimmer will be crowned your Pro Dirt Racing League Pro Late Model Champion. Zimmer, he wants to go one better. He wants to finish it up with a bang. He was lightning quick in week number 1 at the Leonardville Speedway. Unfortunately, it was Tyler Berry who had something to say about that one as to why he didn't win, but tell you what, Scout Neff was not complaining. Meanwhile, Fort closing in right now with 2/10 of a second between 1st and 2nd. Make it 3/10 of a second as Matthew Fort, Scott Fritz. Fritz driving away from Matthew Fort. Top 5, top 6, top 7 drivers just strung themselves out just a little bit, almost like a little bit of a hot lap session. Right now it's Backman in the 007 battle side by side with the 25 of Jaden Lapp as they work down into 1 and 2. Brett Hines in the 17 also works the bottom side. Brian Warner Jr. in the 57. Well, he's trying to eat some Scooby Stacks as we go yellow. Kevin Brown on the 26 machine around. And let's take a look what happened here on your NLRA instant replay. Yeah, get on the Magic School Bus, boy. Kevin Brown in the 26. Oh, I feel like we've Platts, I feel like we've spoken about this before. I feel like these guys should know. I thought we spoke about it during qualifying about what moves and what doesn't move. I'm pretty sure I was pretty, and again, inside joke when I say this, I was pretty specific. And for those playing at home, I was pretty specific at what moves and what doesn't. Anyhow, yellow is out on the raceway. So Brown on the 26 will go to the tail end of the field. Brian Warner Jr. back in the pits. Hopefully he will be able to resume and make his way back out onto the racing surface. Kevin Brown 9th in the point standings coming into tonight. Brian Warner was, or is, 10th coming into tonight. Of course, Tyler Berry not here. He's 8th. 17 down, 33 to go. Scott Fritz once again leads us up turn number 4. Back to the drop of the green flag as now Brandon Studd's going to go back down to the inside. Look out, Jacob Stuyvesant. Stuyvesant around Zimmer, caught up involved in that one. Jacob Stuyvesant, the 73 car. Around. Give it on that black and the red 73. Oh. Checked up a bit. Zimmer got into the back of him. And we let race control deal with what they have to deal with. Zimmer, you can see bringing that 09 back to the pits. Of course, these drivers have one quick repair, which means they get in, get the damage fixed. So there is getting that quick repair done. Yeah, no, I've told these guys that the tyres don't move. I feel like these guys don't listen to me, Platty. Like how long have we been talking about this? What moves and what doesn't? When will people learn? Anyhow, there's only so much we can do. So can Scott Fritz, can he get his first win of the season to be the fourth different driver to claim victory? Yeah, why are you not racing? Fritz, Ford, Starnes, Gardner, Neff, Milburn, Butcher, Bachman. And you go back to Reader and Lapp, Hines and Brow. Green flag is out. And immediately watch Brandon Starnes. He'll go down to the inside, down into turn number 1 and 2. Looking to pick up the runner-up position. I think they were 4 wide on the entry down into turn number 1. If you don't mind, 3 wide as they work through 3 and 4. Nev Fogg gets a little shot in the shorts from behind by the 37 of Travis Gardner. And we're going to go yellow. And boy, it all started all so well. At the start of this main event, 17 laps before the first caution flag come out, and unfortunately, everybody just getting a little agitated. For the sake of 3 cautions in 3 laps. So I'm sure race control will be dealing with the situation at hand. And you just hate to see it sometimes. You really, really hate to see it. Lights should go out hopefully this time. On that iRacing.com official pace truck, that indeed they do. Microphone's coming off. There we go. Because I took my head back. I have a drink. We go back racing here at Charlotte Championship Night Pro Dirt Racing League main event. But yeah, you guessed it, for the Pro late models. Starnes fought side by side. Scout Neff, he picked up quick time, picked up heat race number 1 honours. Now, of course, at the start of the back of tonight's main event, and after 20 laps, he's back up inside the top 5. And how about Dalton Butcher as well? Butcher's up inside the top 5. Butcher up to position number 4. He was originally slated to start out of that 7th starting position. Meanwhile, Scott Neff was starting on the pole position, but again, a feature winner this season meant both those drivers went to the tail end of the field. Colton Zimmer, after getting a quick repair, has found his way back up inside the top 10. As again, we work into 1 and 2. Neff on the outside. Butcher rolling right through the middle of the racetrack. Keep an eye on Brandon Starnes and Matthew Ford as they work down into turn number 1 and 2. 3 and 4, sorry. Into 1 and 2 we go. Starnes goes back to the bottom side. Ford and Fritz upstairs. Meanwhile, Butcher trying to make the move, trying to make the pass here on Scout Neff as they work into 3 and 4. Joey Reeder, third in the point standings right now. So the drivers sitting first, second, and third in the point standings. They are all within 4 positions of one another. There is Butcher, second in the points. Then you go back to Backman in the 007. He's not in the championship hunt, but it is Joey Reeder, third in points in that 011 machine. And then, of course, there's that blue 09 machine. He is your championship leader now. He comes up. How about Kevin Brow as well? After clipping the infield tractor tyre on that 17th lap, brought on the first caution flag of tonight. Now we've got 24 to go. And Kevin Brow is making his way back up towards the top 5 as we watch Zimmer. In fact, let's go back up and watch this battle on for second and third. Fought in that 07 machine, that black and orange entry. Still got Brandon Starnes working the 1B down to the inside one more time. They are not letting Scott Fritz get too far ahead as they work still side by side down the back straightaway. Coming at Cheney 2 laps remaining. Cheney 2. It's still Fritz in the 48. Continuing to lead the way since the drop of this green flag in the main event. Top 3 pretty much got themselves a podium position. Les Scout Neff is able to find 9/10 of a second. And with 21 to go, we'll make it 20 laps to go. Next time bypass the start finish line. 30 down into your main event. There is Colton Zimmer. You've seen that 09 machine come flashing into the screen there on behind the 10. Brow down to the inside. Butcher goes right through the middle and Zimmer works upstairs. Brow, Butcher, side by side. Brow on the bottom, Butcher running the little slider line. Meanwhile, Jacob Stuyvesant, he's back up into the 10th position. Butcher trying to make it work, trying to get by Colton Zimmer, but now it's got Kevin Brow back down to the inside, down into turn number 1, turn 3 and 4. Your leader's already into 1. Backy's already down the back straight away. It's Fritz, 7/10 of a second lead over Matthew Fort, Brandon Starnes, Scout Neff, Colton Zimmer. That's your top 5. Butcher runs in 6th position. Meanwhile, Colton Zimmer, here he comes, closing in right now on the 10 machine of Scout Neff. Remember, these two guys in the first 4 weeks, these were the 2 form drivers to beat. In fact, Colton Zimmer was the form driver to beat. The only reason why Scout Neff had won in week number 1, and what I believe, was because Tyler Berry had a helping hand with Colton Zimmer. 15 to go at the line next time by for Scott Fritz in the 48. 35 down and 15 to go is all that separates Colton Zimmer and the championship with the Pro Dirt Racing League Pro Late Models. Here, championship night here at the Dirt Track at Charlotte. Watching Neff and Zimmer work side by side down into turn number 3. Zimmer, he's going to force the door open as the door was almost being forced shut down on the entry into turn number 3. Naked eye, it was too close to call between Zimmer and Neff. Zimmer throws a little slider there on Neff as they work out of turn 2. Neff back down to the inside. He goes down into 3. He'll complete the slide job. Slingshot engaged down to the inside, but it's going to be Scout Neff to protect the line down into turn number 1. Fort still holding on to the runner-up position. He is now 1.1 seconds away from your race leader, Scott Fritz. And again, Fritz, I'm sure, would love to put the CFM Esports number 48 onto the top step into victory lane here at the Dirt Track at Charlotte. Coming to 11 to go for the 48 off turn number 4. Meanwhile, you're watching the battle on for 4th and 5th right now. It doesn't matter about anything else because these two drivers are putting on a hell of a show. Kevin Brow, Joey Reeder also having a little Jim Dandy of a battle as they work into 1 and 2. Zimmer with a move on Neff. Neff again around the outside he goes. 40 down, 10 laps left to run here on championship night here for the Pro Dirt Racing League Pro Late Models. Oh boy, Zimmer got all sorts of tight on the entry into turn number 3, drifted up the racetrack. Neff had to take evasive action, but again, they keep it off each other. They've both got a straight car for the moment. Neff into the concrete wall. Doesn't matter again how many times you try and tap it. It is still not going to move. Neff, Zimmer. Neff parks it on the nose of the 09 machine, but Zimmer seen it coming. Here comes Brown down to the inside. Kevin Brown going to pick up that fifth spot now. Joey Reeder, he'll move to position number 6. That'll put Colton, what's his name? Scout Neff back outside the top 5, but not for long, because just like that, 2 for the price of 1, he goes into turn number 1 and 2. 7 laps remaining, and it is a 1.6, make that 1.4, 1.5 second lead for Scott Fritz. Brow trying to come after Colton Zimmer into 1 and 2. Brow drifts up the racetrack. Kevin Brow, boy, I tell you what, he is showing a whole lot of speed here tonight. Scout Neff got a little tight on the entry into 3 once again. And the car got tight. Joey Reed is going to pick up 2 positions courtesy of that little short slider from Neff. Here comes Dalton Butcher in the 38 machine. Now bringing with him is Robbie Milburn in that number 9 machine. 5 laps remaining for your race leader of Scott Fritz. 5, 6, 7 and 8 position. These are the positions up for grabs right now. Brow to the inside on Reader down into turn number 3. Slide job's been thrown left, right and centre. Crossover's been turned. And don't worry about turning down your forward, because they're turning 4 wheels underneath the cars as they work down out of turn number 2 and down the back straight away. Already you're watching this battle. They are half a lap behind your race leader of Scott Fritz, who has already got 3, make it 2.5 to go. In fact, there he is. There goes Jacob Stuyvesant bringing that 73 back into the pits. 2-second advantage for Scott Fritz. Once he gets to the white flag, we will race it out for one more time. Down the back straight away. He will come off turn number 4. The white flag is waving thanks to Barney the R-Racing flagman. The Pro Dirt Racing League Pro Late Models Championship night here at the Dirt Track in Charlotte for the final time this season. Down into turn number 3, out of turn number 4. He will be victorious for the first time this season. A 4th different winner, and the 3rd driver to have 1 win on the season. Scott Fritz will go to victory lane. 2nd will go to Matthew Ford. Brandon Stubbs will come home 3rd. Colton Zimmer will grab 4th. 5th will go to Kevin Brow. Scott Fritz is one happy boy right now. And you know what? Rightfully so. He had a dominating car here all night long. Let's bring up those feature race results for you. So you'll get to park it up on the front straight away. Scott Fritz confirmed your winner here tonight from the Dirt Track at Charlotte. 2nd will go to Matthew Fort. 3rd will be Brandon Starnes. Colton Zimmer in 4th. Kevin Brow rounds out your top 5. Then you go back to Scout Neff in 6th. Joey Reeder 7th. 8th is Robbie Milburn. 9th was Dalton Butcher. Jaden Lamb rounds out your top 10. Samuel Backman 11th. Luke Hines. Brian Warner Jr. Brett Hines. Jacob Stuyvesant 15th, Travis Gardner and Joseph Grandy did not take to the starting grid in tonight's main event. Well, let's go straight down. We'll chat to the top 3 plus your champion for the Pro Dirt Racing League Pro Late Models. Let's catch up with our 3rd place finisher here tonight, driving the 1B machine. That is Brandon Starnes. Brandon, first of all, congratulations on 3rd place. How was that one after 50 laps?
Man, that was awesome. I was having a blast. I was thankful just to keep it up there and keep it straight and bring home a P3, man. First one all season, so these boys are fast.
And we had a good green flag run about, I think it was 16 or 17 laps there to start off with. Then there was a couple of back-to-back cautions. What goes through your mind when you get those quick back-to-back cautions?
Man, you hate a caution, you know. When you're running good and you're up front, you do not want a caution, because that gives that next guy that momentum just to get you on a slide, or, you know, to get up underneath you on the start. You kind of just bobble the start and you get to the front. You know, he just takes it away from you. So it just, you don't like the cautions, but we was able to hold it off, man, and keep a P3.
Well, you come into tonight, I want to say you were you're around about the top 5. I think it might have even been 6, but as it stands right now, you're 5th overall after the 6 weeks. You said it's your first podium this season. How would you rated your season?
Man, I kind of come in here, honestly, and I appreciate Robbie and these guys, man, putting this thing on. I just kind of come in here off the sole purpose of just to learn from these guys and just kind of get an idea of, how they drive these tracks, where the lines are at, because I'm not as high rating as most of these guys. I'm just kind of new to iRacing. I think I got 8 months on the sim, so I'm still learning, and these guys have taught me a lot this season. So I'll be back next season for sure, man.
All right, buddy. Look, well done on third place. Brandon, before we let you go, of course, sponsor on this race car, people behind the scenes, mate, who makes this possible for you on the 1B car to get around.
Man, for and foremost, Michael with 4M Custom, Buckwheats Customs, 54 Motorsports, NRI Machining, Adrenaline Spike Designs, Track Dogs Racing, 06 Racing Productions, Anarchy Custom Wraps and Designs, and 54 Motorsports. Man, without these guys, and Dirt Anarchy iRacing League, the league I run, man, without these guys, they do it for us every week and get us out here.
All right, buddy. Well done on third, and I'm sure we'll see you back next season.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
There we go, guys. Brandon Starnes home in third place. Home in second place tonight, driving the 07 machine. And, well, it's been consistent all season long for the times that he's shown up. But Matthew Fort home with, once again, another second place finish. Matt, congratulations. Boy, I tell you, you've been so close so many times this season. But unfortunately, the wins didn't come. But, man, for the times that you were on racetrack, you certainly had some speed in that 07 car.
Yeah, it felt pretty good in the race. I was a little worried pre-race. I was having some setup issues, but I think I got it figured out. So,
Mate, for 16, 17 cars that we had here tonight, and for what we had pretty much all season long, did you expect the track to get as slick as what it did?
I'd say yes. In 1 and 2, I kind of expected, and 3 and 4, it kind of slicked off a little bit different than I expected. Kind of basically just all the way to the wall. And running around the wall is not really too fast down there. So, yeah, it got a little slicker in 3 and 4 than I expected.
Hey, talk us through your race. A lot of that race you spent chasing Scott down, but you always had, for the most part of that race, Brandon was always sort of inside you there. Talk us through your race and how you're able to hold on to second place.
Yeah, I think Brandon and I raced side by side for like 40 of those 50 laps there. That was a good time. I couldn't really make a whole lot else work, honestly, because he was sort of the inside of me, so I couldn't really try low or anything until late. I kind of got around him and I could try a few lines out, but ultimately just couldn't make up the time on Scott. I think I ran maybe faster a little bit on those last couple laps and just couldn't get caught back up. So,
well, mate, congratulations on yet another podium finish here this season with the Pro Dirt Racing League Pro Late Models. Matt, before we let you go, of course, sponsor on this race car, people behind the scenes, mate, who makes this possible for you?
Yeah, just again want to thank my teammates at Kamikaze Motorsports, Robbie and Dalton. Those guys helped test me all week and get us ready for the race. And shout out Speed Ranch and Tanner Tomasi. Setup was pretty fast again tonight.
All right, there we go, guys. Matthew Ford home in second place. Home in first place tonight. It puts the 48 up on the top step. Up on the top step for the first time this season. Scott Fred. Scott, congratulations. Well, that was dominating. You lead courtesy of the winners taking not taking, but being given an EOL at the start, which means that heat race runner-up finish was the all-important one because that put you on pole for the feature.
It is important there. Yeah, Scout and Zimmer got the EOLs there. It'd been kind of fun to see if they could get up there and race with me. But other than that, it was a really good night.
I want to say it's almost the perfect night, other than not picking up the essential heat win and quick qualifying, but the perfect 50 laps for you in this feature event. A couple of restarts there right around the lap 17 to 20 mark. Were you a little nervous then when those back-to-back cautions were coming out?
Not really. I was more worried about when I'd go into one on the top if someone would slide up and get in my door or something. Everyone ran really clean, and the car just kept getting faster and faster as the track got slicker. And when that middle line came in, there about lap 20 or so, it was ripping then. So.
Well, something you didn't have to deal with tonight was too much. Was the lap cars? Were you sort of happy that you didn't have to deal with those lap cars because that can change the whole dynamic of a race?
Yes and no. I mean, you don't want to deal with them because they can hold you up and stuff. But I mean, it's not too often you get to race through lap traffic on iRacing with the cautions coming out, so it'd have been fun.
Well, mate, congratulations for putting it up on the top step of this podium for the first time this season. Of course, you've only done, I think only done 2 weeks with the Pro Dirt Racing League Pro Late Models. Scott, before we let you go, of course, sponsors on this car, people behind the scenes who makes this possible for the 48 car.
Yeah, obviously, Team CFM Esports and Majula Say Majula Say Speed Shop. The setup was on Dig tonight. And Darby for the paint. Sweet Victory Apparel, 605 Racing and Tire Solutions, Busy Corner Buggies. My wife and my mom and dad, everyone watching, and as always, and Robbie and them for putting this on, and most importantly, you, Brett, in the booth.
Yeah, buddy, well done on the victory. We'll sure let you guys celebrate with the team.
All right, thank you, Brett.
There we go, guys. Scott Fritz, your winner here tonight. But the big picture, your championship winner for the Pro Dirt Racing League Pro Late Models. He picked up 3 out of the 6 feature wins this season, what could have been at least 4, maybe even 5. Colton Zimmer. Colton, tonight, not the way you would have liked to finish. So unfortunately, you did have to do it the hard way coming from the back. You got 4th in the end, but more importantly, you're now the Pro Dirt Racing League Pro Late Model champion. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels good. Tonight definitely didn't go the way I wanted. I got up to like 7th there after that around lap 16, 17. And then on the start, I got into that guy's rear when he checked up for someone, so I got sent back to the back. But we were able to climb back up to 4th. It was a good run. Our second worst finish of the year besides to Lernerville, where we got 5th. So never fell at the top 5 all year, or all season. Got 3 wins, and we were able to take home the championship. So it feels good, and I'm just glad we were able to get it done.
With 17 cars in, I don't know if you looked at how the point system works. Obviously, everybody gets the same amount of points for qualifying, so that doesn't really matter as to the overall, like the point scheme of things. Heat winners only get 1 point. Were you looking at the points going into tonight, knowing that if you just got a top 10, that the championship was going to be yours?
Oh yeah, I saw I had around like a 35-point lead, somewhere around there. So my main goal was just trying to beat Dalton there. We had a fun race. He got into the tire though, which like junked his left front, which definitely slowed him down a decent amount. And then I got back around him, but then got sent to the back, but was able to get back around him again and climb to 4th. And I think he finished a bit farther back. So we were kind of able to keep our points lead steady, and I think we ended up getting the championship by that 35-point mark. But so I was definitely looking at the points these past few weeks and just seeing kind of where I needed to finish, because I knew with us getting sent to the back, it'd be hard to win. So I wasn't going to try and junk myself to try and get the win. I was just going to run where I needed to be.
Well, mate, congratulations on tonight's 4th place finish, but more importantly, congratulations on being crowned the Pro Dirt Racing League Pro Late Model Champion. Colton, one last time for this season. Sponsors on this race car, people behind the scenes who has helped you get this championship.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank all my teammates, all my sponsors, HRE Motorsports, Majula Say Speed Shop, BCR Sim Products, just everyone who's helped me out over the past few 6 weeks. T-Berry, Scott, Scout, and Justin, all those guys who have helped me get to where I am now as the champion.
Wait, you thank T-Berry even though after he junked you at Lernerville?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That just made it more interesting because it made us have to work for something even more.
Buddy, well done on 4th place, but more importantly, well done on the championship, Colton.
Thank you.
There we go, guys. Colton Zimmer with the championship for the Pro Dirt Racing League Pro Late Models, of course. That wraps up the short little 6-week season that was, and what has been run and won. Of course, we recap on what had been what has taken place over the last 6 weeks. Week number 1, Lernerville Speedway. Scout Neff picked up the win. Week 2, Federated Auto Parts I-55 Raceway. It was a 3-peat. Colton Zimmer picked up the first of his 3 wins in a row before he backed it up at Cedar Lake Speedway for his 2nd. And then, of course, Eldora Speedway, where he picked up his 3rd win in a row for week number 4. Week number 5 last week at the Lucas Oil Speedway, which seen Dalton Butcher go to victory lane for the first time this season. And, of course, tonight we did see our 4th different winner, the final here at the dirt track at Charlotte, where it was Scott Fritz in getting the win. Scout, I remember quite a lot when it comes to racing. I enjoy what I do, so I always make sure that I'm paying attention as to everything that goes on to the racetrack. But that will conclude this Pro Dirt Racing League Pro Late Models. We thank everybody behind the scenes with the Pro Dirt Racing League Robbie Milburn, thanks to Butt Kicker as well for their support with the series. Everybody that helped out, from the admins to Robbie, everybody that had been able to put in, of course, all the drivers, all the fans that came out to watch whether it was week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or even all 6. We certainly appreciate your company here on Ultimate Dirt TV. But until tomorrow night, 10:30 Eastern, is when we're going to be live once again for the American Dirt Series 360 Winged Sprint Cars. We go to Wii Sports Speedway tomorrow for round 12 of 14. So we'll start to wrap up the final 3 weeks of their season. We will be back 10:30 Eastern tomorrow on Friday night, right here on Ultimate Dirt TV. Until then, on behalf of the team here at Ultimate Dirt TV and the manager behind the scenes, we say farewell. Congratulations to Scott Fritz, your winner here tonight. But congratulations to Colton Timmer, your Pro Dirt Racing League Pro Late Model Champion. Good night.